Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
I've got a grandmother in Canada. Right now, her 3-year-old grandson has been diagnosed with autism. He's nonverbal. He repeats a few words, for example, apple or banana, but not clearly. But he tries sometimes. It seems that he learns and then he forgets. He has 9 hours of ABA a week. I believe it is not enough, but in Canada, they believe it is still, he is still very young and doesn't need more. Recently, he developed a visual stimming, I think is what she means. He constantly looks at a window, daylights, or lights. Since he started doing this, he doesn't want to play with any toy. I cannot catch his attention at all. No eye contact, no play. And she went on to say that she's been watching the show and has heard me talk about the progress that my son has made. She's very interested to know what the road to recovery looks like. Is there any way to reduce visual stimming, her grandson more attentive?
Yeah. So, the answer to that is a very simple, fast one, which is your grandson needs 40 or more hours of high quality ABA as soon as possible. That is the answer. And it's difficult for me to say that because I know that in Canada, it's a little bit difficult. It's hard to find people. In countries where they're not, the philosophy is a little bit different and there's no funding or not adequate funding and not enough trained people, I always advise families the same way we used to advise families, 20 years ago when there was no funding also in the US. So, and the answer to that is someone in the family can just take control of the situation right now and can hire students who can then receive training from us. And you can put together a team of people who will help your grandson get through this process of learning. To summarize what the path of recovery is, the path is basically young children who are, what we do is we assess all the areas that they need instruction. So areas in which they are behind or deficient in some way. And we also measure all of their challenging behaviors. And what you do is you essentially will teach those areas that are deficient, and you use ABA techniques to reduce those challenging behaviors. And you do all of this together intensively so that by the time, let's say you start a child around age 3, by the time they're 6 or 7, at least in half the cases, the child has caught up to his or her peers. And even if they haven't caught up, most of our children make very significant gains in the first 3 years or so. So where you don't have staff, what you do, you can't do this alone as a parent. It really does take a village. So you need to hire, 5 people who could be students. They could even be, 12th graders. They don't need to be college students as long as they're mature enough to show up for work and care about your child. The training that they require is all available to you on IBT, which is the Institute for Behavioral Training. The website is ibehavioraltraining.com. If you go there, you'll see all of our training that we've developed over the years at Center for Autism is on there. And you can get these individuals trained at an incredibly low cost because everybody can just sit together and watch these videos and pass the tests and so on. And once they're trained, while they're training, you, parent or grandparent, caregiver, would go on another website called Skills for Autism. And that's the curriculum. So there you would answer a whole bunch of questions about the child's skills. So it's kind of like, can your child, just things that you just told us, like, can your child say any words? You know, are they articulated correctly? Those types of, and it's all yes or no answers. And you answer all these questions, and Skills produces a profile for your child of all the things that need to be taught one by one. It's very, very simple. And it just lists all of those lessons, and you pick the earliest lessons. So the lessons that correspond to, let's say, what a typical 2-year-old would be able to do. And then you put together, let's say, 20 of the lessons, and each of those therapists starts developing, doing those lessons with the child. And you'll need some supervision for this, and the supervision is provided through individuals in the world who are called BCBAs, or Board Certified Behavior Analysts. And you can access those individuals. There's a website in the US called the Behavior Analysis Certification Board, BACB.org. And when you go on there, and you'll see, you know, thousands, literally thousands of people listed in different regions of the world. And you contact those people and you say, can I get some supervision for my grandchild or for my child? It's a few steps, but, you know, with some effort, you can put together a good program, and you'll have supervision and guidance, and your child will move forward, or your grandchild will move forward. But the key to it is you cannot get rid of challenging behaviors or self-stimulatory behaviors like looking out the window, being distracted, unless at the same time you are teaching new skills. They kind of go hand in hand. And if you try to get rid of some behaviors and the child still doesn't have enough skill, they'll find a new challenging behavior to replace it with. So it's really important to, like, instead of saying, oh, well, don't allow the child to look out the window, you first need to have a whole bunch of activities lined up so the child is busy. And if they are busy, they won't look out the window. It's kind of more that way. Hopefully that answers some of the questions.
And no, and I love your answer, and I'm going to talk about why I love your answer. But first, I want everybody to take a deep breath, because what Dr. Granpeesheh just said was a lot.
Yeah.
And I know some of you are having like a small panicky feeling right now, like, what? I have to hire people? I have to what? You know, and it like makes that thing in your chest. I know the first time somebody told me that, I was like, no, I'm not capable of that. Now I was lucky because I had services already set up. I had other hoops I had to jump through that weren't as intensive as that. But I want you to take a deep breath, and I want to tell you something, that other people have done this, and you can follow in their snowshoes, and it will be faster and easier for you because you will follow in their snowshoes. And other people have been able to do this and put together and not actually pay a nickel for any of the services. They were ingenious, and they found like one place, it was a Kiwanis club, that they went to their local Kiwanis club and they said, I need 5 people who are willing to learn something and be a part of something that's amazing and volunteer their time. We'll train them and they will have the skill later on, but I need a commitment that you guys are able to work with my child for 8 hours a week, 5 of you. Right. Another parent that we know did it. She was in a university town, and each sorority and fraternity on campus has to have a project that's something that's supposed to be good for the world. She went to a sorority and said, would you guys like to take my child on as your sorority? And everybody in this, and how smart was this? Because as the sisters graduated, they were teaching the other sisters. So there was always a backlog of people to help her child and to fill in. So it isn't always, I know we always think it's about the cold hard cash, and sometimes it can be, but if you're smart, other people have done this without cold hard cash. Yeah. But as Dr. Granpeesheh said, you need a team of people, and you need to get some education. We've got it for you. I'm going to give you a phone number to call in just a second. Get your pencil sharpened and out. But I want you to know that it's possible, that it's doable, and that it's a choice. Now, there are other people out there that if you ask this question, they would say, oh, I'm so sorry, you don't have services, 9 hours. Well, make do with 9 hours. And one of the things that I love about Dr. Granpeche is she's not going to hand you that horse manure. Mm-mm. That is not who she is. That's not what she's about. She's going to tell you the truth. And then she's going to let you deal with your feelings about how you feel about the truth. But for those of you who go, okay, I wanted to know what the pathway was. Now I know what the pathway is. I'm going to get started on it. And I'm going to do my level best. And I'm just going to, do this every day. And it's not every day for the rest of your life. It's every day for a period of time in your life. It's like having an Olympic athlete that the family goes, all right, we have extraordinary circumstances here. We have somebody who has this extraordinary talent and we want to get them ready for the Olympics. So we're going to set aside, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years as a family and put a lot of energy into this. And we're going to bring in experts and we're going to bring in help. And when something isn't working, we're going to reevaluate it and we're going to keep on plugging because we've decided that this is important to us. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.